Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the How's Your Touch podcast, covering all things Scottish women's football. I'm Peter, and as always, I'm joined by Matt. How are you doing, Matt?
Good. Feels weird because we've seen each other today.
Yeah, I know. Passing visit. I was going to ask, have you been? Long time no see, but then it's like an inside joke people wouldn't get, and then I'd have to explain that you came over and see my new
Yeah,
house.
it's been like whatever it is, 3 hours.
Matt came over, said my house is nice, told me that I hadn't unpacked very much. That was very
I'm not
motivating.
wrong.
Thank you. You're not wrong, but you should have been like, oh yeah, man, looks like you're moving in. That's nice. Fucking here I am surrounded by shit, pretending my life is like progressing nicely here. But
I have offered to help so many times.
what are you gonna do? I have no. What are you gonna do?
So
Unpack a box of books to put on a bookshelf that I've not got. You know what I mean?
I said I'd help you build stuff and whatnot, but it's fine.
No, I built an IKEA Pax wardrobe all by myself with Claire
Proud of
helping.
you.
Heavy shit, man. Heavy shit, like
All by
three
yourself with
44-kilogram
another person.
boxes. Yeah. Literally, but mostly me. Had to get my hand drill out to drill a hole. Mental.
Wow.
I actually had to figure out.
Um,
I've got I built like wee cup shelves, so I had to figure out how to put a hole in the wall to make sure that it's level.
Okay.
Because I
Have you
can't.
got a level, like a spirit level?
I got my phone. My phone has a level on it, but it's more so I hold it up level, but then I've got a mark where the holes are. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing covers where the holes are, obviously, because it's the shelf.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah, you can. This is Scottish Football Podcast. You can get some masking tape and like loop it round so so it's double sided, and then stick it to the back of the thing that you need. That stick it to the bit you're sticking to the wall. So
Yeah.
when you stick it up level, and then when you pull it back, if you put your hand in between the tape, so the tape stays on the wall,
Yeah.
and then when you take the shelf off, so you know where you need to drill.
Okay, I think I understood that. I'll try it. We'll see.
You can listen back to this bit over and over
Yeah.
again. And do it.
What do I do with the tape again? Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah,
But
I've
yeah,
been good. I
you've been good.
got my hands tattooed, which you didn't
You did
notice
get
for.
finger tats. Yeah. You should have got a gun tattooed on your fingers, because then you could have been like.
Okay. I think you haven't matured since you were 13.
No, we're not. You don't want to get a Joker tattoo and put it on your. Do that thing?
No, I'm not Jason
No.
Cummings. No, but yeah, you didn't notice, which was quite funny.
just no. No, I noticed. No one else noticed, but you don't
You've
show your
seen me
hands.
enough. I was holding a mug,
Yeah, but in
like
a weird
yeah,
way.
uh, in a super normal way, but it's fine. It's whatever. I've been good. Hibs won. That's the main thing.
Yeah, first time in a while.
Let's try and get it back to football.
When was the last time Hibs won before today? When was the last time Hibs won a game of football before this week?
Last weekend? No.
A couple weeks back,
Oh
you not
no,
lose to
that was
Hearts,
2 weeks
and then
ago
you
now.
lost to Inter Milan, and then you lost in Europe again before that.
How dreadful to lose to Inter Milan, one of the best teams in the Europa Cup.
Right, okay, yeah, high bar.
They are.
You should have beaten them. You
How's
scored a
Celtic
goal.
getting on in
And what?
Europe?
We're building for next year, actually. Have you know?
Yeah.
Via free transfers and Elena Sadiku getting approached by agents, which is Celtic's transfer policy. But obviously, professional and not doomed to fail. Just getting sent seemingly videos of kids in college and going, yeah, that's right. She left back, cool, she can play. Although she did score 2 Olympicos, so maybe who am I?
And also
Who am
didn't
I
come
to
from
say?
college. So
Did she not?
um
None of them did.
no, she came from Blackburn.
Oh yes, Hannah Lee
But
came from Blackburn. That's
we
true.
can talk about that once you've done your segue, which I've been trying to set up for you, but you just keep going on tangents.
Listen, brother, there are bad podcast hosts in the world, and then there is me. So, and with that, we're really good.
I thought.
Yes, hopefully. Thank you. So a good podcast host would now say, "We'll be right back to begin this podcast properly." So yeah, SWPL 1 new chats. I think first of all, there's been a bit of some last minute transfer activity. as kind of mentioned, our preamble there, Celtic signed Hannah Luke from Blackburn Rovers. I guess from Blackburn Rovers. She was at Blackburn most recently.
We also mentioned that Celtic signed Hannah Luke like a month ago.
Yeah.
And just didn't announce it
And
for some reason.
Shout out Cynic Women who took a photo of her, and then it's Claire Wild that's going to explain it to me. It's something like she met someone who knew Hannah Luke and was like, "Oh, it's Hannah Luke," or along those lines.
It's honestly, I don't understand why you waited to announce it on deadline day.
It's the most Celtic thing of all time. To just everyone knows the players are there.
At least you announced it on deadline day, unlike everyone else who, for some reason, decided just to not bother talking about anything happening on deadline day, and then like 2 days later, we're like, "Hello."
By the way, there's players here, all just in the team and stuff. Yeah. But so it's Hannah Luke. I think that's the only one that has came in since last week. So obviously signed Strijek. But I think that has happened before last week. I'm losing track of time. Hibs also signed 2 players from League of Ireland, which you suggested might happen last week. Yeah, did you find out who they were going to be before they announced, or did you just?
Well, one of them. So I've got to shout out. Oh my god, this is going to be the other Three Amigos podcast. Who are League of Ireland podcast, who said that Scarlett Heron was joining Hibs, because that's the one I couldn't figure out. Weirdly, they didn't mention Jess Fitzgerald joining Hibs, but I'd already figured that one out because Joel Murray followed her on Instagram, and she hadn't been in the matchday squad for Payment United like this week before, but she'd played every minute up till then. So I was like,
fair enough.
Basically, the guy that tweeted the rumour said it was South Dublin clubs. I then went through South Dublin clubs and just looked at their lineups to try and figure out who was missing.
Who's not been there,
to work out.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so we've signed Scarlett Heron, who's a centre-back, left-sided centre-back, which is very fancy for Hibs. And Jess Fitzgerald, who is a defensive midfielder, mostly, but also does quite a lot of attacking. So probably more of a Kiara Grant than a Kirsten Riley, I would guess. But equally, Kirsten Riley used to be an attacking midfielder. So
yeah, fair enough. That's pretty good. I think other than news, biz, probably just mention you guys in Europe. Hibs played Inter Milan. In Milan, wasn't it?
Last week, yeah, and Will played yesterday when this goes out.
At home they lost 4-1 in the end to a very strong Inter Milan side, the best team in the Europa Cup.
I mean, what they are currently, they had over 400 international caps on the pitch. Like, I really want to put it in perspective.
Seems like an old team.
A team with over 400 international caps on the pitch. A player that was ranked as the 3rd best young player in the world 3 years ago, up front. Once won the Champions League twice in midfield, and we didn't get battered. You know what I mean?
A little bit
battered. Not like battered. Not like Hearts Motherwell battered.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it was. I don't think we ever looked like we were going to win or draw, but in the game in Milan, whatever happened yesterday Easter Road. For all I know, Hibs just won 4-0.
We'll see.
But it wasn't. Like, there were a couple times that we got forward and looked really dangerous. Callie Gibb has an assist in European competition now, which is again very funny when you think of the fact that 12 months ago she was an attacking midfielder at Spartans, leaving to go join Partick Thistle, where she was hoping to maybe play right back more often, and now she's playing right back for the best team in Scotland, away in Milan against the Serie A runners-up. So that's fun for her.
And then the other Europa Cup game we had City beat Athlone United, or Athlone Town, or Athlone United. Athlone Town United, no, Athlone Town. They beat them 3-0 in Ireland.
In Glasgow.
Oh, okay. Well, now they're going away. Oh no, both games are in Glasgow, aren't they? No.
Now they go away. I can't believe that I'm having to explain how home and away fixtures work for you.
Sorry, no, it's because Glasgow City tweeted that they needed people's support.
Yeah.
Sorry, need your support, just in general. Yeah. Sorry. I don't know, I read the tweet and I just imagined they were like, come to the game. But
Yeah,
no,
but
it's
people
at
can
the
go to
Athlone Town
Ireland.
Stadium. Yeah, I'm sure they
I
can.
do want to say actually, to be fair, one of the big things that I think has been really positive in general about the Champions League qualifiers and now these games are the away attendances that SWPL clubs have been bringing to, you know,
Mhm.
like Cyprus. Hibs had a bunch of fans in Cyprus. They had a bunch of fans in Milan, like, and they were loud and um, definitely were heard on the pitch. Same with Glasgow City. They had a bunch of fans in Austria, and now, hopefully, yesterday had a healthy attendance in Ireland because that's not very far away.
Yeah. So what
So
happened? Something
yeah,
happened with Athlone Town as well before the game last week. There was like some weird
they sacked
drama
their
about their
manager.
man. Yeah. Funny.
He quit. He quit,
Yeah,
and then
he
he gave an
quit.
interview to Irish press, being like the club's shit or something. I
Yeah,
honestly couldn't really figure it out.
and then they
I don't
hired
think the
someone
club
to
are
take
that
his
unhappy.
place. Yeah, fair enough. It seemed to be a lot of drama, so that's funny. But gotta say, always took advantage on 3-0, and then they'll have played them again, and presumably won't have bottled that. So
Cool. I heard none of
yeah,
that.
really. Well, I said presumably they won't have bottled it by then. Um,
Yeah, you would hope not. I mean, not to jinx it, but a Scottish team has never lost to an Irish team ever
yeah,
in
there you go.
European competition. As much as that's like 4 games, and one of them was against a like mixed side of players from a region or something like when Hibs played them in like 2007. But
Yeah,
yeah,
fair
you'd hope
enough.
not,
Well,
but you never know.
well, let's get back anyway into SWPL action, which is more important. We've had our match day 5 already, which is kind of crazy. Um, and yeah, I think the first game I want to chat about was it Rangers Thistle
Yeah, we
or
can start with
Celtic
Rangers
Aberdeen.
this one.
Yeah, well, I mean, Rangers interesting game. It'll be interesting because will your Thistle piece be out yet? No.
I'm aiming for Friday, but I am realizing I probably need to do a recap of what's happened in Europe, so it might actually end up being next week.
Well,
So
it's
we'll
interesting
see.
because obviously we've got a nice article coming out about Thistle. Matt's written a bit of a mode to be similar to what he did for Rangers actually. And Thistle had a very good first 45 minutes, would you say?
I'd say first hour. Um, like, yeah, I don't think. I think it's a difficult one because Rangers had some really good chances in the first half that they didn't take.
Hmm.
Um, but equally, better finishing, and part of this will go in at half time, 3-0 up. And that's something that I think they'll find probably quite frustrating, but also, something that they can build on and
Yeah.
look at when they do their analysis and go, we weren't far off. They have two. There's two Leah Tweedy chances. One in the box, one where she gets the ball fairly far out, and it's kind of a pace like
Yeah.
who's quicker sort of thing. I think Hannah Robinson has a similar one, whereas one of them might be Rachel Donaldson. Honestly, there were like chances where Rangers' defensive line is too high, they're still getting behind it too easily, and then
Hmm.
they have like a one-on-one, but they're 40 yards out. Because Rachel Donaldson obviously hits the crossbar after her chip, which I don't think Rangers, when they do their analysis, will be very happy with how that chip came about and Jenna Fife's part in it, where she sort of comes out but doesn't really. But it's incredible from Dalton. It's like,
It's only score screamers. So
yeah, it's exactly what we'd expect from her. Um, but yeah, they
this.
should have taken one of the other ones. I think it's
Hmm.
Hannah Robinson who has the second one. She gets into the box and has an opportunity to cut it back and doesn't. And I think that's the one that will really live in the minds and be like, if you're just more composed there, instead of taking the shot from a wide angle, we're 2-0 up against Rangers. We've rattled them.
Hmm.
And maybe
Well,
we can,
it's something
get a
quite.
big
I think.
win. But
Well, I don't know if this comes out in your analysis, so maybe I don't want to jump the gun, but this was like front line isn't like the most clinical of front fours or attackers in the league, and definitely not as clinical. I guess they are missing some players, aren't they? Still, but I guess probably
I
something
think,
that they would look to, like if they're looking to get to the next like strength of strength, would be to kind of. I mean, Leah Tweedy is a good striker, but is needing to get back into like regular football more
yeah.
at this level, I would think.
Um,
And then Rachel Donaldson, but like it's not exactly like guaranteed goals at the moment. So
they don't have. Trying to think of a comparison, but like a Becky Galbraith sort of striker that you can basically guarantee goals from. I think part of the issue they've had so far, and this is something that does come through in the analysis because I found it really hard to do. They've played sort of the same shape in every game, but a different formation as part of it. But they've also played players in about 7 different positions. So we've seen like Timothy Falconer play more in midfield. We've seen Hannah Robinson play right back, right wing, left wing. We've seen Addie Hanley play left back, left wing. And they've sort of moved players about quite a lot. And I think that they need to do that because that's what they're aiming to do, is try to get the best out of every player. And they're trying to figure out what that best combination is. But they need to figure that out like tomorrow, because it's going to start getting to a point where they are going to have games against the likes of Motherwell and not know their roles. And that's probably the sticking point. And I think that's, even with the Robinson chance, like, if she's playing on the wing every week, she probably knows that Leah Tweedy's going to be there because they built up that relationship.
Yeah, literally.
But because she's been playing at right back and because she's playing in midfield and so on, like, it's harder to, she won't have that like second instinct of, I know Leah Tweedy's there, I can just cut this back. So she goes for the shot, which is what, funnily enough, is what a right back would do. They'd have a shot in that position because they're not used to being there. They don't really know,
So they know what to do.
So it's not instinct. But I think definitely after the hour, but after halftime, it does become a Rangers game. And to be fair, as I say, they did have chances in the first half. It's not like Thistle could have got in 3-0 and Rangers couldn't have scored at all. Katie Wilkins hits the crossbar. They have a few other chances that probably they should be doing better with, or will be disappointed with their final pass, final cross.
It's something that Jan Crichton said, I think, post match. She spoke about the difference. I can't remember exactly what it was now, but it was something to do with like they're like, I don't know if she's questioning the attitude as much, but it was something along those lines of like, in the first half there wasn't quite that like energy, that like determination and willingness to get through and fight against a side like Thistle who are going to do that. And then obviously saw a much better second half, and probably had a bit more intensity, a bit more like purposefulness in their play. So
I do wonder whether some of that is obviously the decision to drop Brogan Hay. She makes it into the 5 of the week. She gets a goal and 2 assists in the end. I don't really understand why. Like, I think of their front line, she's been the one that's looked the best so far. As much as I think Liziana has done really well, of the wide players, I think Brogan Hay's been the most impressive. And I also think they do make quite a lot of changes into this game that suggest that maybe she thought it would be easier. Like, they put Austin out at right back, and Pegram comes back in at centre back. McCleary moves forward into midfield, again a different position for her, which she's not been playing as much recently. Kim comes in from the start, and she looked really good. But it's like there's a lot of like, I wonder if maybe there was not a feeling from her that it was going to be an easy game, but maybe the squad
subconsciously you make the changes subconsciously. You think, okay, this is the game that we've decided is a rotationable game, and that's through. But you can't deny it. Second half Rangers were strong as anything, and like seeing goals coming in from Laura Berry and Maycroft as well is something that we spoke about a lot of Rangers youth players. And Maycroft is she's been getting minutes this season, probably not. Well, probably she's good enough to get the minutes, but I just mean like I think she's been getting them because of injuries and things, but she's definitely taking the chances.
I think similar to like Jess Ramsey at Hibs, like very young, so I wouldn't expect loads of her. But I think what a player that if they do come in, it's not like I don't think you can see in the teammates as well. I don't think players are going, oh, don't give them the ball in difficult situations and stuff like. Both of them, funnily enough, both against Partick Thistle, have shown that they can cope with this level of football. It's just a case of not overloading them because they're 16 and also like allowing them to make those mistakes if they do happen. But she's been really good. And I think Kim Shinji alongside her really helps because she looks like, you can tell she's on loan from Roma kind of thing. She's physical, she's quick, got a good touch. A couple times she mistimes their challenges or goes steaming in and gets beaten, especially like on the goal or might be in the one where they hit the crossbar. She goes steaming into Hannah Robinson and just gets nutmegged, and it's like there's maybe a little bit of that. I think she is more attacking anyway, so it makes sense. But she does look like she's going to be a problem
Yeah,
for the rest of the league. I think
Kim Shinji's looked a
generally.
lot. She's looked a kind of step above probably other midfielders that
Mm.
Rangers have had recently, I think, as well. And then also got to mention, because we do slag her or have slagged in the past, so got to praise where we did. Katie Wilkerson did score the equaliser. So that's like
Well,
a
I
difference
wasn't
making
going to
goal.
mention the equaliser because the equaliser was a tap in from some. Again, like this is the bit where this will be disappointed is that they could have scored more, and then the first goal especially is so preventable. I think that the third and fourth, the fourth is preventable, but the third is a good goal. But equally, I think comes from Thistle just being a little bit like on their feet, like it's the 90th minute. For the second goal, Kate Wilkinson doesn't get the goal or the assist, but she receives the ball in the box, holds off a defender, and does this little chip back through to Brogan Hay that clears the head of two Thistle defenders and then lands perfectly for Brogan Hay to slot across goal for someone else to tap in. And that's just like ridiculous. And I would like to say we've never slagged her for her ability. It's always just like if she contributes in those big games enough,
Yeah,
which she has been this season. I think is the difference. Is
yes,
last season she would score the opener or
yeah.
the equaliser in a game like this, but then she would play against
Other
Hibs
teams,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Celtic or
Or she would
Glasgow,
stat pad and
and
score 4 goals in a
yeah,
10-0 win, but she scored the 5th, 6th, 8th, and 9th or something.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
So it was never her ability; it was more just when she gets those goals and like who she gets them against. So, but I think this performance, I think generally this season, she's really benefited again from Rangers and Leanne Crichton going a bit more, back to basics with a strike partnership. I think she the like allows her to get more involved.
yeah, definitely.
She has a few pot shots in this game, which probably is the downside. If she's picking the ball up 25 yards out and
Yeah,
going,
so,
I'm just going to hit it, and then it's like, well,
yes, not.
you know,
But that,
but
yeah, it has maintained Rangers unbeaten start to the season. Only them and City unbeaten still. Although City have still got to play a game, which is against Hibs, isn't it? You guys play each other, so maybe they'll lose there. But yeah, I guess then the other game we want to chat about was Aberdeen Celtic, 6-goal thriller, in which, yeah, I mean Celtic got off to a good start. Like Morgan Cross scored again. Morgan Cross Player of the Month, should mention. Someone that I have had reservations about for a while, but has started this season. I think, just picking your position, i.e., right wing up top, and then saying that's what you play, Morgan
yeah,
Cross,
I think it's
unsurprisingly has
funny
benefited.
because
So,
last season we were talking about why Hibs can like how Hibs can do it and Celtic can't, like recruitment wise. And I think Morgan Cross is a Hibs style signing of like someone that's done really well in the, like Emma Lawton as well, like someone that's done really well in the league and is ready to make a step up, as opposed to someone that's coming out of college or something. And yeah, she did really well in this whole game. She should have had a second. But SWPL referees are SWPL referees for a reason. Um, so
yeah, 5 weeks,
you know,
5 weeks,
I
countless decisions.
I think
Actually, no.
I think we're genuinely into double figures. I mean, there's three in this game alone
Yeah.
that I think are like horrendous decisions, like ones that aren't even they're not even like borderline, like oh a yellow card was given and I think it should be a red, or like the penalty
No,
last week in the Edinburgh Derby, where for me that's not a penalty, but it gets given every single time, so you can understand it's going to get given. I just don't think it should be because it's ridiculous. But in this game alone, Celtic get a goal disallowed because Emma Lawton's offside but doesn't interfere with play in the slightest at any point, and doesn't score because Morgan Cross is the one that scores. The penalty shouldn't have been a penalty, and then Finnegan gets extremely lucky not to be sent off for handball on the line,
yeah.
which the referee seemed to just like tell the Celtic players to fuck off essentially when they asked him for a penalty. It was
Yeah.
it's just nonsense at this point. Like I think it's gotten worse, and that's the concerning thing because it's like where we kind of thought we were at a point where the only way we could go was up, and it's somehow gone down.
Yeah, they've not been great at the start of the season, that's for sure. But it's like Aberdeen got a penalty because Celtic were 1-0 up, and they never. I mean, kind of cruising. Like if you look at the stats of it, it's mental. I think Celtic had somewhere like nearly 700 passes or 600
Yeah,
passes, something like that, compared
I
to
think it's
just tapping the ball around probably, but
yeah,
probably not
it's
much
one where
penetration.
I feel like it'd be harsh to criticize them on the basis of they didn't capitalize on it though, because like they had chances, and they were defending well. It was like the first time Aberdeen went forward since Celtic scored, and
Yeah, that they
then
literally. But it was also like a big hoof into the box from like a free kick, like that ended up there. And I think it's the kind of game for Celtic like where they're still missing Noonan for like a rogue injury that classic SWPL has not quite been addressed as to what is the injury, when will she be back. But it's kind of game that when you have that much possession, that much time in the ball, and you do kind of create some chances. It's the kind of game you want a Noonan style striker for, probably.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I wouldn't get back in to get that equaliser that penalty, and then McInerney scores pretty quickly after that. Another nice goal, McInerney again. Listen, breakout season. I should have put her player of the year, but I didn't do.
heavily heavily deflected
Nah,
goal.
brilliant goal.
It was, but like she's having a good season. It was
Yes,
deflected like
we
quite
should be
heavily.
clear. That's true. And then Hannah
I
Stewart was again for Aberdeen, didn't she? Equalised again, and
Yeah,
then Hannah
that goal
Luke.
was wonderful though.
So
To be fair,
what? Hannah Stewart second.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's good play from Maya Christie. It's really good play from Maddie Finney, who is a centre back and made Celtic's left hand side look like ice.
Hmm.
Um, like they were, she gets the ball and she just drives past them, and it's like you're not even there. Which is, I would say, probably Celtic's biggest concern is the fact that it doesn't seem like there's a left hand side at all, defensively or offensively. Really, they're both, I would
Hmm.
say, a bit of a like, what are you doing?
Yes.
And then she puts in a perfect cross right onto the head of Hannah Stewart, who heads it back across the keeper. It's like genuinely just a wonderful goal. Like it's brilliant. As it highlights the concern I would have with Celtic of maybe don't play Lisa Robertson as a left back
Yeah. Well,
if
as
she's
I said,
got any
Hannah Luke.
alternative.
Well, Hannah Luke has been signed to prevent that, but it would suggest that Hannah Luke has to play, 100% of the minutes available. Otherwise,
Yeah, I thought she
so
was on by that point. Maybe she wasn't.
I can't. I don't know what time. 75th. I don't know when she came on.
I can find out. I did want to mention as well. I do like I have an overall concern that I've had for Aberdeen since they played Hibs. Of at what point do they? At what point do you drop Katie Cox? Like,
You probably
and it
don't.
sounds like it obviously. Well, it sounds stupid because like she's on loan from Chelsea and she's really highly rated. An England youth international. Um, but I mean, she concedes twice directly from a corner in this game.
One of them was deflected on goal.
Yeah, but if you look at where she is on the own goal, she's
Yeah,
like in
listen,
line with the post. If any player had headed it towards goal, she has to make a superhuman dive to get back across. And I don't know why she's rooted to the spot at the front post. And then on the one that goes in, she's rooted at the front post again. Like you've just conceded from that, And I
can tell you.
think McEnany's goal, I think she should be doing better on. I think she should have done better on a lot of goals this season. The Morgan Cross one that was disallowed, she parries it straight back into a dangerous area. Like they signed Anna Proer with quite a lot of fanfare,
Hmm.
and I would expect that she signed thinking there would be minutes available,
Yeah,
and she's
probably.
watching a goalkeeper. You know, maybe not so much in this game because if Aberdeen had come out with a point here, it would have been a robbery. But she's watching a keeper concede twice from a corner. Like once
Yeah.
directly from the corner, another time where it's preventable, and then concede a goal where it loops over her in such a comical fashion.
Hmm.
Of the keepers in the league that you would expect that to happen to, she should be at the bottom of that list. As a
Yeah.
Chelsea loanee that they believe in, that they believe has a future with them. If she's got a future with Chelsea, she should be saving those shots. And she makes some good saves. I'm not saying that she's been bad like all the time, but she's also conceding some goals that you wouldn't expect that I
Well, I
think are
guess
happening
for
because she's
for
never been a number one.
Yeah, wasn't it from Chelsea's point of view? I don't know if Chelsea would be bothered because potentially why they sent her up here,
Well, they've
you'll
sent her
just
up here to
concede
play.
but you'll
Yeah,
concede a shit ton of shots,
but
which is
that's
good
what
for
I mean is
Chelsea.
that
But for
like
Aberdeen, it's like, is this a worthwhile
that's
signing
what I
for you?
mean. How long can Scott Booth put up with her learning in goal? Because it is costing them. It cost them against Partick Thistle, and that's a game that actually will impact their season where they finish. And if they want to come top six, they need those results to go their way. They also
Well, it's,
need to start competing against the top five
mm-hmm,
because there's three teams going for that sixth place spot at some point this season. Motherwell and Partick Thistle have both shown the ability to take points off the top five. Aberdeen haven't.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
they need to make a change there, and they need to not like necessarily make a change in goal, but they need to make a change in how they've approached the games and how they defend and things like that. And I think at some point there's got to come a point where it's like, well, we cannot afford to drop points because you're learning in goal. You're learning how to be a number one goalkeeper and the pressures that come with that. And I just wonder if maybe this is the turning point of like,
yeah,
Aberdeen could have had a 2-2 draw and then those two corners happen.
yeah,
They
yeah,
would have
yeah.
been undeserved. We would be
But
sat here
yeah,
talking about
yeah,
Aberdeen nicking a draw,
a bit
but they
more
would have gotten
commanding
it.
in the box from her, and then all of a
Mm.
sudden they get away with it. They get away with it, and yeah, it's a robbery as you call it. But sometimes that happens. But like, yeah,
Yeah,
they end up
and you
losing
need
that
that luck
chance
if you're,
because
you know,
yeah,
for
yeah.
Thistle, Motherwell,
It's an
and
interesting point you
Aberdeen if
make
they're
though, because like
when
as you
they
say
like
about not having the time, because I know we're having, oh my god, already in match day 5, but again with a smaller league and only playing each other twice, we're a third of the way through, or one more week, we're a third of the way through the first half part of the season. You can't. There's no time now. We're into the
yeah
season now. In last season you would have thought, okay, plenty of time to make this up, whatever. But this season we've only got 13 more games. There's not that many points. There's a lot of points, but it's
yeah
like yeah, before all of a sudden the league's getting
especially
split and you can lose out. It's always 1 or 2 points separate that 6th and 7th spot, and it
mm,
was the same this year, even though it's a smaller league. So you don't really have time,
yeah
as you say, and they've got another good goalkeeper there. Then,
especially with it being three teams this year as well, because
mm-hmm,
in the past it's always been. I mean, the first year when it was Partick Thistle, it was kind of just Partick Thistle, but
mm-hmm.
last season obviously it was Thistle, Motherwell were having the real fight, and then there were a couple of teams around it that
Yeah,
were
yeah,
you know outside chances. Whereas this season you've got those three publicly very much going for that, like saying sixth is our aim,
mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then so it half like if they don't, or the two teams that don't make it will make up half of the bottom four. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's
That's
a
what we
lot
said last season. As soon as you're in
of
the bottom, as
pressure.
soon as you're in the bottom 4, it's relegation fight. It's how tight it is. But I guess some
Mm,
of Scott Booth to weigh up is like if Katie Cox comes good in the next 2-3 weeks and then is as good a goalkeeper as say Chelsea believe that she is,
mm,
then she'll start winning them games. But
yeah,
how? What?
but
I wonder what the cutoff is for him to say. Okay,
yeah, but
yeah.
I also wonder it generally from like because if I'm Anna Pro, and this is something that I find quite interesting listening to Counter Press this week, Shelley Flaherty was talking about how your confidence gets shot when you're sat on the bench and you're
Mm-hmm.
not playing and you're watching other players underperform. I wonder like because at some point they're gonna like Anna Pro is gonna be at a point where she's not going to have the confidence to come in because she's been judged to be worse than this goalkeeper that's made a
Yeah.
lot of high profile errors in the first 5 games of the season already. And at some point, then she gets a chance, and she's already not believing in
Yeah.
herself. She's not had a chance to play behind that back three regularly. So then they react differently to a new goalkeeper being in. If she makes a mistake on her debut, she's out immediately, and it's bring Katie Cox back in. She doesn't get 5 games, and I think that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
issue is that
No.
like at some point you pass the point of no return where you can't then start a new goalkeeper.
I mean,
You've
I think
got to
it's a
just
quite
stick.
a difficult managerial decision probably for Scott Booth, but good thing he's a good manager, so I'm sure he'll make
Yeah,
the
it's
right
a good
choice.
of
So
all the managers. At least they've got the one with the most experience, so he should
you
have
should pick it up. But it'll be
an
interesting
easier
to
time
follow that, as
dealing
you
with it.
say, like
But
1-0 when they'll pick it up. But yeah, other games in the league mentioned, I've got Hibs beat Montrose 5-0. McGovern hat trick again. Stat padding. Call her
Bowie 3 assists.
call her Kathleen Wilkinson.
Okay. She did score the opener, so it's a little different.
But yeah, Tegan Barry also got those 3 assists, essentially, so another good game from her.
Yeah. 3 assists for Tegan Bowie, debuts, a home debut for Bolton, debuts for Fitzgerald and Heron. Fitzgerald looked really good when she came on. Could have had a goal, could have had an assist, which is always promising when someone just comes on and they're immediately like, it looks like they've been there forever.
Yeah, she's that good. It would have been good to have had her in a couple of weeks back.
Probably, yeah. I do think that it is a problem that we didn't do these deals until deadline day. I also think that I can understand why the clubs that we were dealing with didn't want to let them go for as long as possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Fair
So
enough.
it's you've got to look at it from both sides. You know.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
fair enough.
Kirsty Morrison scored from across, which I'm gonna say that was not a shot. If she claims that was a shot in any media, then
Always a claim it's a shot. They always claim it's a shot.
I don't think Kirsty Morrison's the type to lie.
All footballers lie all the time.
Nah,
Like
Kirsty
footballers are
Morrison seems like a truthful.
constantly lying.
Nah, she seems like a truthful gal. I trust her. Unless she says that she shot, in which case I don't trust her anymore.
All trust is broken at that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. The another game interesting point out. Hamilton, Glasgow City. Hamilton losing 1-0 to City there. City got a place out. Goal lob got sent off, so she didn't. She's gonna go lob her shoes off the wall probably because in frustration because she got sent off. Aki's unable to fight back and get the equaliser. Not that I don't know. Maybe it's not a good result because they lost, but they didn't lose by a lot of goals.
A lot of positives to take from it, I think.
Yes,
More than anything.
what as other Lancashire clubs call it, a learning experience. And the learning experience for Motherwell, who also lost to Hearts 3-0, which I think we were talking about it before it came on. Hearts Motherwell, that was last year's 5th v 6th, and Hearts then quite comfortably dismantled Motherwell 3-0, I think, which is interesting because Motherwell had a good game last week, so a bit I don't know, inconsistency creeping in again for them, which is something that they managed, I think, got away from last year. The year before that, I remember Motherwell being quite inconsistent. They were a bit more consistent last year, got 6th. This year seems to be a bit up and down. I laughed at I enjoy their salty tweets because they look with obviously 3-0 down. You're not going to be like happy about it, but like it was just 3 full stop.
I think it's more pronounced with them because they don't tweet anyway.
Yes,
you just get goals.
You just get 3 full stop.
Yeah, so you just get goals half-time, full-time, so I think it's more
sometimes it's a better tweet. See rather than doing a whole bunch of shit, just saying 3 full stop. It gets the point across. You're angry about it and you're not happy. And it's 3.
I think I would be getting towards the point of being annoyed if I was a Motherwell fan and I was hearing the club constantly talk about their ambition, only to then constantly be tweeting a game to learn from. Like, at some point you need to have learned. And I think last season, just about around Christmas last season, they put it together and they got the draw against Hearts.
Yeah.
And then since then they've looked out at sea again, and I don't know what the disconnect is between them being able to, put up the performance that Partick Thistle put up against Rangers, where they lose by the same number of goals. It's not like Thistle even got a point in that game, but Thistle looked like they could get a point in that game. I think that's the big thing for me is that Motherwell don't look like they can get a point in a lot of these games, and that's where I'm like, I'd be really frustrated if I was a Motherwell fan because you've got the players to do so, you've got a manager who's capable of doing so.
But they have, but like Motherwell, to be fair,
block
because they have shown it, but as I say, they're probably not putting together the 90 minutes or even closer. Like they had that game against Motherwell where it was 2-1, so it was a much closer game, but they were 2-0 down. They get a good goal in the 8th minute, and they probably press on there. They look like maybe could have got the draw, but that's out of a 10-15 minutes at the end there of press and pushing. But then again the last week against Hamilton they were really good. But if you go through the results of the season, obviously they lost to Montrose 4-1, which is a really poor. Then they have a good positive performance against Rangers, although they still lose. Then they batter Hamilton and play really well against Hamilton, and then they come back this week and the performance level and the energy dropped, and then so.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think necessarily the game against Rangers was Like it ends 2-1,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't see it as the same as like they have 2 shots all game,
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying about like for that. It's like not necessarily like a put together
less than
performance.
25% possession.
It's that last 10, 15 minutes they look like they can nick it at the end, which is positive.
That's
But
that's
it's
what I'm
yeah.
that's what I mean by like I don't see them having the performances like they're not losing valiantly. They're just losing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like the result might say 2-1, but the the stats say that Rangers had 76% of the ball and had
Yeah.
15 shots to 2. You're not in that game, you
Yeah, that's
know.
fair.
And that's the bit where I have the frustration of like because I look at their squad and I'm like, yeah, they could put a performance in that gets fans excited for the future of the club and things like that. Like as they like Thistle did against Rangers this week, where it ends 4-1, but there's signs of life. There's signs that they can compete with Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
They have 35% possession, not 25. They have, double figures or almost double figures
Mm-hmm.
shots. They keep Rangers away from goal. They keep Rangers chances to a minimum.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the thing that I'm not seeing from Motherwell that I find frustrating. Because I think they've got everything in place to be able to do it. You
Yeah, it's
wouldn't be able to
just
put the performances that they've put against the teams below them if if they couldn't do it. And
yeah,
that's
yeah,
where
yeah.
I'm like, well, why can't you, put it together against a team in the top 6, apart from that one time against Hearts?
Yeah, it'll be and the one against Celtic, I think, to be fair, last season. Again, they didn't win it, they didn't get a point
Yes,
out of
yeah.
it, but that was good. So, but
Mm-hmm.
it's inconsistency with the world. It was something that we've seen. Like, as you say, got the players, got the support, got the staff, but just something just isn't getting in there. But yeah, that's the kind of SWPL 1 this week. Been exciting. Leeds progressing.
Yeah, I was going to say just before we move on, it's obviously a ways away yet, but we are sponsoring an event at Mulaki Stadium.
Yeah,
Um, Nick Brown's book launch, his book Girls Aloud, which is a history of women's football in Scotland. It launches on the 28th of November. So a ways away, but tickets are available
mm-hmm.
now. So
I feel like we've also brushed
um,
over the name of that book.
it's a good name.
Girls Aloud, brilliant name.
Yeah, it's a good
Because
cover as well.
it's a play on word, guys. Girls Aloud, like
Yeah,
the
it's a
band.
pun.
Like, are you getting it? Are you getting it? Yeah.
We've now ruined the title of the book.
Yeah. Sorry, Nick.
But yeah, we're sponsoring this event. It's at the Hamilton Community Stadium in Hamilton on 28th of November. You can get tickets if you go to they're on Ticket Source. So if you go to Nick Brown Books on Twitter or Instagram, you'll be able to see it.
Get
And
the
I'm
link
sure
through
Peter
there.
will put a link in the description if he remembers
I
or knows how
am
to do that.
in the camp of good podcast hosts, so I will.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to create a podcast so that you can call yourself awards nominated podcast host.
Why? What was
I'm going
that?
to create a I'm going to create an award. Sorry, not
Oh,
a
right.
podcast.
All right. Yeah, creating awards. Yeah.
The How's Your
Best.
Touch Awards
Yeah. Best.
podcast nomination.
Well, best host of a weekly podcast that covers SCPL 1 and 2, because then you don't have to include the Crichton
Does he still
and
do it? Oh, he
no,
does.
I don't think they do it anymore. But they
Joe
would
Corsey,
be
I think, still does it.
just by
But
yourself
PLZ
now.
have theirs.
Oh, PLZ, do they do
Yeah.
this with? Yeah, PLZ is alright too. There's
Yeah.
lots of good, women's football content out there. You should listen to it all, but listen to us first for your,
Mm-hmm. And then listen
let
to
us indoctrinate you
Screamers,
originally.
and then listen to Counterpressed, and then listen to the rest of them
Yeah, sure, in that order, I
because
guess.
they're our pals, so they've got to that
I
counts for
know, but
something. We've got good taste.
yeah, fair enough. Okay, well, on that note, take a quick break, and we'll be right back to chat about the SWPL 2. Yeah, had a nice full round of fixtures in the SWPL 2. Some interesting results, as always, in SWPL 2, and kind of a bit of a mixed bag as to. I can't remember what we projected the SWPL 2 anymore in terms of like winners and stuff like that, but I feel like we might be off already.
The top 5 is the top 5 we thought they would be. I don't know
Oh, nice.
order-wise, probably wrong,
Not,
but they
yeah.
are the. I think the league is pretty much if you split it into top 5, 6th, bottom 4, and bottom 2 is part of that. I think they are in this like they are all grouped
Yeah,
right.
to
I
be fair, I
think this
remember,
order is
yeah.
different.
You've got Killie Spartans, Queen's Park, Dundee United, top 4. I think we definitely had them in the top 4 in varying
Mhm.
orders.
I think I had Birmingham Thistle in top 4 and Dundee United 5th.
Yeah,
Like
but they're leveling points right now, so
exactly, that's what I
exactly.
mean. Like they're
So
pretty much all in the they're all in the right
because
groups.
it's only taken us like 7 years to figure out the SWPL too. So it's a great league though. But yeah, a few games to chat about that one. I think the first one was at Spartans Thistle. You want to chat about, which
Yeah,
is an interesting
it's
pick because it ended 0-0.
well, it's the first derby meeting between the two of them since 2010, so that's fun.
I suppose it's a derby, yeah. I suppose
I
Edinburgh.
suppose it's a derby. It is a derby.
The same way what we used to Spartans, Hearts was the main derby in Edinburgh or whatever back in the day.
Spartans Hibs.
And Hibs, yeah. Okay,
Spartans
I
Hearts
suppose
was
it's a
barely
derby.
a derby.
Listen,
They played each other like 6 times.
is it like a grunt? Do we know much about what other than proximity? Is there any more like
They both have strong community like foundation the elements.
that's the
Spartans have got
that's
the
the
community
yeah that's
foundation.
the like
Prometheus will have the like academy.
that's the trash talk on
That's
the
the
pitch.
beef.
Our
Yeah.
foundation's better than yours. How
Our
much
under
grant funding did your
66.
grant? You only brought in so much grant funding this year, pussies. So
Our under sixes are better than your under sixes.
our under sevens coach will batter yours. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think there is any beef, but there's like
If
there'll
there
be
is beef, please
beef
let us know. There
city
has to be
wise.
beef.
I don't think there's like actual. There's not
Purple
actual
v
beef. I don't
red.
think. Yeah, like clashing colors really.
Purple pathway versus the Spartans Youth Academy. Purple pathway wins that, hands down.
Yeah, it's a better name. Alliteration. Spartans need
So
an S. Like
I'm not gonna think of it right now. Yeah, but the game
Spartans
ended
Soccer Club.
0-0, and it was was there more to it other than what
No, not
I
really.
guess it's
It's a pretty shit game. Yeah,
oh
for the
god.
first time they've met in 15 years, it's one of those where it's like, oh, that's a shame.
It's the
Um,
one that if this had been like a TV game, it would have been built up, built up and built up, and then boom, there you go, flat 0-0.
but I think more than anything, it's just the result. Like you look at what we were saying about the teams that are going to be in the top.
hmm
Birmingham Thistle probably the one that everyone would say is the weakest of the five,
hmm
and they've drawn 0-0 with the one that people would say was the strongest of the five.
And to be fair,
And
we're joking here, but that is the first point Spartans have dropped all year.
yeah,
So
I mean they've only conceded one goal in 4 games,
mhm.
which is that's nuts.
Yeah, they're playing very well.
So I think it's a better point for Barmere than it is for Spartans. But I think it's
Definitely
just
is,
another
yeah.
indicator of how this SWPL2 promotion race is going to play out in terms of like there being such a strong group trying to get that one spot,
Mm-hmm.
and then also you wouldn't have seen the post-match. Trying to put this in a nice way. Andy Enwood was raging about the fact they didn't win. Not raging is probably an exaggeration, but he
And the end of
strongly
it
felt that
just
they
has
should have
high
won that game.
standards, man. I feel like he's
Yeah,
always angry when they
probably.
lose or don't win, but
Yeah, I think it's just, and I say this as somebody that has very recently, shaved my head and has tattoos. I think it's just because he has a shaved head and tattoos, and we associate that with like Jason Statham.
are you? You're not comparing yourself to Jason Statham right now, are you? No,
It's Jason Statham. But I'm saying
and the end
like
of it, I see. And the end of it, Jason Statham, I can see
yeah,
that connection.
but I mean the aesthetic.
Are you saying you shouldn't have brought yourself into the comparison? I don't think here because you and the Inuits are not. You might
Yeah,
have shaved head and tattoos, but that's about it. that's the connection.
well, I don't have a shaved head anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You're blonde. You're
Yes,
blonde. Yeah.
well, I'm it's almost frosted tips. It's growing that much, but you know what I mean. I think that's why. I think potentially it's subconscious. Like he's not actually angry. It's just us being like,
I think that might be the name this week. Andy Enwood is Jason Statham is Andy Enwood. That'll be funny.
That'd be a really good casting.
That'll
if there was
get
ever gonna be
clicks. So
a biopic.
if
there was Hollywood, if you're listening,
get
let's
get
get an Andy
Jason
Enwood
Statham
biopic.
on.
And is he even still acting?
Andy Enwood.
No,
He's coach.
Jason Statham. Mark Strong would be a better casting, I think. Actually,
Too bald.
I don't think he's too bald.
He's like wax bald.
Maybe it's because I've not seen him in anything recently. I don't think he's wax bald. Is he?
Pretty bald. He's Kingsman,
So
no?
he is.
Yeah, he's like bald.
Yeah, but I think it's by choice.
Okay.
Because there are some photos where he's got like stubble, so I think it's
Fair
by
enough.
choice.
But it was a good let's not spend too long talking about people's looks, Matt, because it is football. We should talk about their abilities because
Okay. I was saying that's why we think he's angry, because we associate it with Jason Statham and Mark Strong.
Right, yeah. I forgot how we got to that, but no, it was good. You know, he's angry, but as you say, it is a very well earned point from Russell in that game.
And for Spartans as well, like Rona Douglas makes a clearance off the line. There's a couple other moments that they'll probably be looking back on and going, we probably should have conceded there. So he's probably got a point that they should have. Thistle were the more likely winners. But again, that's what I mean. It just shows the competitiveness. I think, I say, for Spartans, it's a much worse point than for Barmy Thistle, but they'll be very keen not to lose.
And then elsewhere, I guess, in the SWPL 2, most of the game highlights was it Queen's Park, Gartcairn?
Yeah, that's sort of the biggest result, I guess, though the most impactful result.
Are we calling that a derby now too?
No, because Gartcairn aren't in Glasgow, unless you're claiming Glasgow goes way out.
Airdrie? It's a G postcode, I think. No, it's not ML postcode. Never mind.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, fine. That can be Glasgow as well. Airdrie's Glasgow.
Yeah, but we got
used to play.
Yeah, it's true. But we got Ian Robinson. Though got our manager of the week. That's the first time he's got that.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Maybe not. But he's a good, exciting young coach. I think he wants to implement a style of play, and it's good. I think that's them still unbeaten in the league. Queen's Park. No, it's not. Or it's their unbeaten run. Sorry, they posted when they lost the first games. That's I don't know. If you play 4 games, you lose the first one, I think, and then you win 3. Are you extending?
3?
Are you?
Yes.
But can you really post it's an unbeaten run?
I think you start. I think you can start describing yourself as being unbeaten at 3.
It's not. Oh, okay.
You wouldn't say like we're unbeaten. We're on an unbeaten run of 2, but you would say we're on an unbeaten run of 3, or we've extended our unbeaten run to 3.
Okay. Fair enough. Valid. I think
they're like
headline
of being,
headline
cancelled.
Queen's Park extend unbeaten run, full stop, suggests you've not lost.
Yeah.
I think. Anyway, they didn't lose though today, so they won and they had a good performance against the strong Gartcairn team.
Yeah.
Getting very excited here, SWPL 2.
But I was gonna say it's straightforward for them. I'm sort of confused with Gartcairn. Like, there's nothing wrong with being 6th, but the way the club has presented themselves as being so enthusiastically ambitious makes me wonder what's going on.
Well, you say that. I mean, they're literally 3 points off 3rd, though. Like, it's not as if they've fallen off.
Yeah, but I don't think we would expect them to climb much higher. They're 3 points off 3rd, but it's also been 4 games. I
do think Gartcairn, to be fair, have been a victim of like the teams who've came down in the past. And since they got promoted, they had that one really good season.
Mm-hmm.
They've then had Aki's come down, and
there's nothing wrong with them being middle of the pack. I just wonder, I think maybe it's just because I'm still remembering that ridiculous promotion fight and not the bit before that, which was them being dead bottom of the league.
With 1 point in January. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was very funny.
So, I don't know. I think coming 6th would be progress this season. It just doesn't feel... It feels like Gartcairn should be one of the 5 that we're talking about as the promotion group.
So if I think Gartcairn are quite...
consider them in there.
No, probably not. I think Gartcairn became the kind of like acid test for SWPL 2 promotion. If you beat Gartcairn in good fashion, you're one of the teams that you would put in the playoff promotion fight. If you struggle against Gartcairn, then you might then you're probably you've got to beat you comfortably. Might be worried about relegation. They're quite a good It's helped me gauge SWPL 2 as I start with Gartcairn and work my way up and down. But yeah, I don't know. That's meant to be quite positive about them, but that maybe sounded a bit like
Like I said, I don't
middling
mean it in a
team.
bad way. Like,
But
I think they're going to be fairly comfortably sixth. I just, it feels wrong to be like not including them in the promotion bit, but then I also feel like including them in the promotion bit is a bit of a stretch.
I think it depends what they do the rest of the season.
But
we'll have to
yeah,
see how
just because I currently feel like they're not in that sort of tier of team.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, that was SWPL 2. There was a few other games in that. We had, what did we have? Yeah, we also had Dundee United beat East Fife 3-0. Is that a derby?
No.
Same part of the world? No. And you had Livingston St
Not
Johnstone.
at all. There's a whole
Livingston St Johnstone derby?
No, why would that
Both kind of near Edinburgh in a way. Not in Glasgow, therefore.
Perth is near Edinburgh.
So what you got, Matt, is you got Scotland, right? You got Glasgow. Everybody else.
You have a geography degree. I think
Yeah.
you should know Perth and Edinburgh aren't near each other.
No, yeah. Listen, if it's not in Glasgow or surrounding areas, don't care.
But you should.
Yeah, I'm joking. Everyone outside of Glasgow gets upset when you make jokes like that. So I'm joking.
I think it's pretty stereotypical, isn't it? Celtic fan.
By the way, this is somebody who lives outside of Glasgow getting pissed off at this joke. Point made.
I don't live out in the south side.
Yeah, but you're not from there. Yeah, but you're like a Fife boy.
Yeah, but so I'm a Celtic fan who's not from Glasgow.
I know. Should support my local team. From my local team, exactly. Darvel.
But then doesn't believe in the rest of the country deserves to exist.
Okay, Jesus Christ, we jumped. And on that bombshell, yeah, Peter. That's funny. But we do seriously have to wrap up the podcast there, which is a funny place to end it. But I've enjoyed this week.
Can I try and sell people stuff one more time?
Yeah, do as much selling as you can. You've got 30 seconds.
Okay, it's 10% off our store this weekend with code 10OFF. So you can get yourself some lovely How'd You Touch merch.
We've got vests. We've got mugs. Hoodies, jumpers, t-shirts.
No, we don't have hoodies. We have hoodies. We have jumpers, we don't have hoodies.
Crew necks. Sorry. We had hoodies. Where'd the hoodies t-shirts.
Go? We've never had hoodies.
All right, fair enough. Fuck hoodies. What was a hoodie? What is this?
We've got
2021?
We've got prints of the best team in Scotland, and we've also got children's clothing.
Ideal.
So
10 off. Get 10% off.
Yeah.
And
10 off. The letters spell out 10, TEN. Tango, Echo, number. I don't know what N is.
I don't know what N is actually.
November.
Yes, Tango, Echo, November. 10.
Off.
No. Tango isn't off. Was O Foxtrot, yeah. Anyway.
Why would O be Foxtrot?
No, F is Foxtrot. I don't know what O is.
Omega.
Foxtrot, yeah.
Yeah, I've had to use the native phonetic alphabet more than I should have.
For a women's football podcast as well. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's 10% off on the store this weekend. Just this weekend only. So go and grab stuff at house-your-touch.tmail.com or just go to the link in our bio, which is much quicker than typing it in one by one.
And in the link in the bio, you can also find our Substack and also links to other accounts where you should follow us and subscribe and share and like and comment and engage with the content, because it's nice to hear if you like things, it's nice to hear if you dislike things, it's nice to hear if you disagree with us, and it's nice to hear other suggestions for actors to play Andy Enwood.
It's not nice to hear if they disagree with us.
Oh yeah, I will block you. Yeah.
I would like fan casts for the SWPL managers. I think that would be fun.
Yes.
I don't know. I cannot think of anyone else. I can only think of
Jason Statham
for Andy Enwood.
Yeah, literally. Scott Booth would be a good one to think of actor for. But I'll leave that up
I
to
think,
the listeners. So
Colin, don't know his last name. Would
Firth,
be good for him. From In Bruges,
yes,
and also from the Penguin.
Colin Farrell.
Farrell?
Yeah, Colin Farrell.
Yeah, he'd be a good Scott Booth. So we've
Fair
done
enough.
2.
Well, do you agree with someone else make up the other 8?
18.
18, yeah, sorry. Wow. Actually, that was maths. Anyway,
maths.
we need to end this podcast. I've enjoyed doing it. I've been Peter, that's been Matt, and that's been the How's Your Touch podcast, which has been about women's football, I promise. See you all next week.